Have you ever thought about the secrets of Jesus Christ? He is a mysterious figure who has inspired billions of people around the world for hundreds of years. Dolores Cannon was one of the first people to use hypnosis and past life regression to help people. Through her unique hypnosis method, she went on a trip that not only explored the depths of the human mind, but also revealed deep truths about Jesus Christ. The things that Dolores Cannon found make us question what we thought we knew about history and faith. They invite us to look deeper into a reality that lies beneath what we think we know. Let's take a moment to learn about who Dolores Cannon was and how her amazing journey started before we talk about the amazing things she found out about Jesus Christ through hypnosis. The road that Dolores Cannon took to become a famous hypnotist was anything but normal. She was born in 1931 in St. Louis, Missouri. She started out as a standard backward hypnotist, helping people deal with problems and issues from the past that might be hurting their present lives. But things took a big turn when, during one of her meetings with a client, she made an unexpected and life-changing finding. There was an amazing event. Instead of going back to a past life, the client started to talk with a different voice and say they were someone else. The quantum healing hypnosis technique, which was created by Dolores Cannon, got its start with this. While Dolores Cannon was still working to improve her method, she met people who told her amazing stories about their past lives. In these stories, there were people who said they lived during the time of Jesus Christ. These clients told very thorough stories about their experiences, which gave a new view on Jesus' life and lessons. What Dolores Cannon learned about Jesus Christ while she was hypnotized is amazing. It makes us question what we think we know about this famous person and helps us learn more about them. The idea that Jesus Christ had ties to the Essenes is one of the most interesting things about Cannon's writing. Let's first discuss the Essenes to put some light on their history before we discuss the link. The Essenes were a Jewish group that lived in Judea during the time of the Second Temple, around the same time as Jesus. They lived in groups and were very simple, focusing on faith, simplicity, and finding inner knowledge. It is the Dead Sea Scrolls, a set of old writings found in the middle of the 20th century, that put light on the Essenes' views and practices that they are most famous for. The Essenes were known for how deeply they believed in heavenly things. They left normal society to build a close-knit community where they could focus on their spiritual path full-time. They were different from most Jews of their time because they chose to live a life of prayer, reflection, and community. One thing that made the Essenes unique was that they put a lot of importance on healing techniques and had a close relationship with nature. They thought that plants and flowers could heal, so they used natural medicines in their daily lives. The Essenes' love of nature fits with how Jesus often used natural things and stories from nature in his lessons, like the famous "Consider the lilies of the field" text. Through her work with past lives, Dolores Cannon came up with an interesting idea. Jesus Christ wasn't just a separate spiritual figure. He was also linked to the Essene community. She put together a story that questions the standard view of Jesus' background and effects by using the accounts of her clients who had past life regressions. According to Cannon's customers, Jesus was portrayed as a part of the Essene society. This makes me wonder how the Essene lessons might have affected Jesus' own spiritual growth and message. Imagine that Jesus grew up in a place where faith, healing, and having a close relationship with nature were important parts of everyday life. How might this place have affected his views and teachings? What might his time living the Essene way of life have done to help him spread his message of love, kindness, and enlightenment? The idea that Jesus had ties to the Essenes goes against the common story of his life, which usually puts him in the setting of traditional Judaism. The Gospels give us a glimpse of what Jesus taught and did, but they don't go into great detail about his early years. Cannon's ideas help us understand Jesus' early life in a more complex way, suggesting that his spiritual roots may have been connected to the Essene way of life. Cannon's customers frequently talk about Jesus as a divine guide and healer who came to bring love, kindness, and light to humanity in her meetings. A common view of Jesus is that he was a spiritual leader who came into the world to teach about love, forgiveness, and the promise of a kingdom that is not limited by the things that can happen on earth. But what makes Cannon's work unique is that it looks at the death and resurrection in new ways, throwing new light on these important events. Some of Cannon's clients told stories that go against what most people think. They talked about times when Jesus seemed to gladly accept being crucified, as if it were all part of a bigger plan from God. Can you imagine how brave and devoted someone has to be to freely go through such a fate? It talks about Jesus' deep purpose, which was based on love that doesn't depend on anything else, and giving up one's own needs. The Rising is another event that has fascinated people for hundreds of years. The people who worked for Cannon looked into the rising of Jesus and saw it not just as a physical event, but also as a spiritual awakening. From this point of view, Jesus could be seen as a spiritual being whose soul went beyond the limits of the physical world. It's similar to the idea that death is not the end, but the beginning of a better, greater life. But the most controversial thing about Cannon's work might be her idea that Jesus may have lived more than one life in different places and times. This idea goes against what Christians usually believe, which is that there was only one birth and resurrection. It makes us think about the chance that this unique soul has been on a more complex and diverse spiritual journey. Dolores Cannon thought of Jesus as a spiritual master who came to earth to teach people and make them smarter. She thought that his lessons went beyond religious dogma and were meant to help people understand and care about each other more. Dolores Cannon accepted the reports of Jesus performing miracles and thought that these were manifestations of his incredible spiritual power. She thought of Jesus as a doctor who could use the energy of the universe to help people get better. The lesson of love and kindness for everyone is a big part of Cannon's beliefs about Jesus. She said that Jesus taught people to love everyone, not just their close friends and family. His lessons went beyond religion lines. Cannon thought that Jesus was a key part of the change in people's minds. She thought that his life and lessons could inspire people to find their own faith and seek a link to God. Dolores Cannon also looked into the secrets of the Bible and often disagreed with how it has been interpreted in the past. It was her advice that people should read the Bible more carefully and dig deeper to find insights that are hidden. What Dolores Cannon says about Jesus Christ is different, and it makes us want to look deeper into the general ideas of love, kindness, and personal change, rather than just the religion lessons. Even if you don't agree with her, her ideas can still move you to start a deep journey of spiritual growth and self-discovery. She makes her point very clear: you can change yourself and help make the world a better place by being more loving and caring. It makes us think about how his lessons are timelessly wise and how his journey might hold greater spiritual truths. Would it be possible for us to start our own journey toward more love, kindness, and spiritual growth by accepting Jesus as a spiritual messenger? The work of Dolores Cannon makes us think about, seek out, and study the deepest secrets of life. As it says this, it makes us think about what we think we know and allow ourselves to believe that the story of Jesus Christ is even more amazing than we thought.